The State of Nerd Conferences is a sorry one indeed. Just this last week, in fact, just a day and a half ago, the Game and Geek Expo gave the boot, completely banned one of their invited guest speakers, Camelcast official, because he was conservative. That's why. I mean, we read between the lines, we see that that's why. They gave him the complete boot because of his political views. And at the same time as this is happening, at the same exact moment, right now, as this gaming expo is kicking out conservatives, on the open source software side of things, the KDE Foundation, they are having their conference coming up known as aKademy. Well, that open source conference, they're specifically inviting editors and activists who encourage the firebombing of cars as political demonstrations and the murdering of Jewish conservative journalists. None of that is an exaggeration or a joke. I wish it were. This is all real stuff that's happening. So while on one hand, the nerd conferences are doing everything they can to make sure that conservatives are not allowed at their conference, and this has been an ongoing thing for years now, but they are specifically not only censoring or not inviting, no, they are specifically inviting. They are specifically welcoming and encouraging guests who are extremists, sometimes actual terrorists, sometimes people encouraging murder and terrorism, as long as those people have leftist politics. This is an ongoing, consistent pattern. So the Game and Geek Expo one. Camelcast official over on X posted this. To all the people who bought tickets to come and see me at the Game and Geek Expo, I have been kicked from the event. One of the vendors and photographers from the event said I am a Nazi. Of course, because he's conservative, so they have to slander him. So I have been canceled from the show. Now, it should be noted that this guy, his name is Cody. He's a race car driver, and he's actually going to be with his car in an upcoming video game. So he got just the boot from a video game conference, even though he himself is going to be in an upcoming video game. That's insane. That's crazy talk. But here he published the screenshot of an email from the Raleigh Retro game people who organized the Game and Geek Expo, where they inform him that he has been cut from the show. Hi, Cody. Look how friendly it starts. Thank you again for your interest in being a part of Game and Geek Expo. We appreciate the time and effort you've put into your content and the support you've shown towards our event. Oh man, it's already going bad. After careful consideration, rejection letter, we've made the decision to move forward without your involvement in this year's show. To move forward without your involvement is a really funny way of saying you were confirmed to be here speaking, and we've decided to give you the boot for political reasons. We've decided to axe you. We've decided to move forward without you. Oh my word. While we truly appreciate your recent efforts, including the removal of one of the flagged videos, apparently there was a flagged video involved and he removed it, additional content has since surfaced that has raised continued concerns from our community guests and sponsors. And then that's always going to be the case. Just as an aside, if you are not the right politics, they will always find some reason to say you are not allowed because they won't be safe if you exist there. I can't count the number of conferences I can't go to because of exactly that. It's absolutely asinine. Continue. Unfortunately, we've already experienced a loss of a sponsor and several other guest participants due to this situation, and it is beginning to negatively affect the overall perception and inclusivity of our event. Oh no, not the inclusivity. Oh heavens. Well, we wouldn't want to affect the inclusivity. Please understand this is not a reflection on you as a creator, but rather a necessary step to ensure we are maintaining a space that is welcoming, respectful, positive for all attendees and partners. Oh, good. We absolutely respect your right to creative expression and free speech, but we also have a responsibility to our broader community. Well, they just, they like his free speech, just not free speech at that event. And if you think, oh, well, that didn't seem too terrible, that same group, Raleigh Retro Gamers, that organizes the Gaming Geek Expo, immediately started censoring anyone, and I mean anyone, who didn't support the banning of this particular conservative. He posted this again over on X. Anyone commenting on the convention's Instagram supporting me is being immediately blocked and deleted, literally making every mistake. This needs to be studied. And other people were mentioning that this Raleigh Retro Gamers Instagram account, that they were watching people post things going, hey, I don't like this, or I really like that guy, or why would you censor someone because of their political beliefs? And they were just watching them get deleted in real time. I mean, they were on it. They were desperate to make sure they censored people for their conservative views over and over and over again. And if this were a one-off issue, it would be newsworthy and weird, but we just do a single thing on it, a single show or a single article, and be like, well, hopefully they, pull their head out of their butts and fix this up. But this is a pattern. And it's not just a pattern of conservatives being booted from conferences. I've lost track of the number of conferences that I've been banned from because I'm conservative. I've had open source and tech conferences threaten me with physical violence if I simply showed up at the event, specifically because I'm conservative. And some of them because I'm Jewish. Not a joke. I've had death threats if I arrive at a conference, all coming from the leftist extremists. It's been a nonstop thing. And I'm not the only one. It gets to the point where conservatives in general are not welcome at nerd conferences, whether it's open source, enterprise tech, retro gaming. It's by and large, the more conservative you are, the less welcome you are in these various spaces. It's just the case. It doesn't matter how friendly you are, how nice you are. It doesn't matter. You get the boot every single time. But it gets so much worse than that. So much worse, because it's not just that conservatives are not allowed. I mean, there's examples that I've reported on over the last few years where a guy was banned, for example, from going to a Linux Foundation event because there was a picture of him on social media wearing a red Make America Great Again hat. He wore a red MAGA hat in a single picture, and he was banned from events. And he was a fairly prominent, well-known software developer and writer, and he was banned from the events. But these nerd conferences are actively curating, encouraging, and inviting people to attend the conferences who are extremist leftist activists. And when I say extremist, I mean extremist. The KDE conference, KDE, one of the biggest Linux open source desktop environments, they have their annual conference. They call it aKademy. It's coming up. It's just right around the corner. And they invited to their conference as a special guest the editor of a website known as OS News. That particular guy is an extreme leftist activist that regularly encourages things like firebombing of Tesla vehicles because conservatives bad, Elon Musk bad, so you got to firebomb vehicles. He also encourages the murdering of Jewish conservative journalists. He calls Jewish conservative journalists Nazis that deserve, quote, no quarter and need to be murdered. And it's not like a one-off sort of, he makes an off statement sometimes. I mean, he encourages terrorism, murder, firebombing, arson regularly, all in the name of his crazy wackadoodle, insane, and hate-filled politics. The KDE community, the KDE Foundation, says that's the kind of person we want there. That's the kind of person we want at the conference, supporting the conference, speaking at the conference, covering and writing about the conference. And then the conservatives are banned, right? And this is an ongoing pattern. Over and over and over again, you see at these major conferences, extremist leftist activists even giving keynote presentations. I was at a keynote presentation at an OzCon related festival, the open source conference. It's put on by O'Reilly. I was at one of those conferences one time, and during one of the keynotes, a guy was up there talking as a keynote speaker and a conference organizer, up there talking about how people need to commit crimes and be willing to go to jail in the crimes they commit against white men, like specifically calling out white men. People need to be accomplices. People need to be willing to help other people to commit crimes against white men. Now, he didn't specify what crimes he was committing, but whatever it was illegal because he wants people to commit crimes against people based on their skin color and their gender. It's crazy. It's craziness. All in the name of DEI, woke, extreme leftist activist politics. Again, these are the people organizing the events. These are the people running the events, invited to the events, keynoting the events, encouraged to be there. Some of the events will pay for these people to be there, to spread their hate about their promoting of arson, their promoting of the murder of conservative Jews, and on and on and on. But if you're slightly conservative, well, you're banned because people don't feel safe. Oh, we gotta worry about inclusivity and inclusion, and people are just not safe, and diversity. What? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And this needs to be talked about more and more and more. It's across all of nerddom, the gaming conferences, software conferences, enterprise conferences. All of it, the corporate ones, all the way down to the community-driven fests, and it's not okay. Thank you, though, to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for allowing to keep me talking about these sorts of things, because IBM and Red Hat and Microsoft, who funds so many of these events, they don't want you talking about these things because they encourage these things. They encourage the censoring and silencing of conservatives. They encourage the platforming and strengthening and promoting of arson against conservatives, of murdering conservatives. It's insane. And lest you think that any of this is an exaggeration, I am quoting these people. I am saying exactly what they've said. And these are things that I've covered over the last few years. Look it up, son. It's crazy. And we need to be talking about this more and more because it's nuts. So thank you to all the subscribers. Go to lunduke.com. I couldn't do this without you. If you were involved in any of these conferences and would like to become a whistleblower, go to lunduke.com and click the Become a Tech Whistleblower link and get a hold of me. Heck, if you work for any of these big tech companies or foundations and would like to blow the whistle on some shady behavior, because there's a lot of it, go check it out. You can contact me via email, via X direct message. There's a bunch of different ways you can get a hold of me, and a lot of ways that you can anonymously get information to me. And with that, Lunduke.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare end broadcast.